did not go.
Oh, we went to something else, and I'm liking the jam.
What is up, creators? Welcome to the Let's Get live stream, our weekly show where we give you the tips, the news, the strategies, and all the things in between to help you stream. We are the three amigos. We have me, we have Doc, and we have David the black man, who's not a black man.
That's it.
How y'all fellas
I love
doing
how
today?
Rob says sup with a question mark. Rob, why would you
Sup.
sup with no, actually
Sup.
sup is a question mark. Never mind. I take it back,
Sup.
Rob. It's just you're so used to hearing it, not reading it, so you don't hear it as a question. Okay, never mind, Rob. You win. I'm off. I'm going home now. Wait, I am home.
Hey, everybody. How's it going?
Tommy over there rocking out, enjoying the music. We appreciate you joining the stream. As always, be sure to share this with your peoples. What is going on, Tommy? Good to see you. Glad that you are here. We got K-Walk Comedy starting trouble already. We have Sammy Superstar, the young Jedi Padawan, in the house. Good to see you, Sammy. Today, we got a few things to talk about.
Yeah,
Doc, you got some. So we all use Apple. Clearly, this stream is brought to you by Let's Get Live / You can go to our shop store and check out all the new merch stuff that we have coming out. Not just for you to wear, not yet. That's coming, but for you to wear on your stream, because we got Ecamm Live overlays that you can use. David, Doc, why don't y'all tell them about the overlays?
Overlays are the truth. Let's just say I am so proud of what the team has been able to put together, and they're quite amazing. We're getting a lot of comments and feedback on them. Whenever I do a stream and I'm using one of the overlays, people always hit me up and it's like, hey, where'd you get those overlays from? Well, it turns out you can go to letsget.live and get it yourself. And they're like, oh my goodness. So yeah, I'm actually proud of it. David was the mastermind behind the project. What do we call it now? Project manager.
Project X.
Yeah. Look, I'm not. Don't blame that. Don't blame all that awesomeness on me. Miss Diana up there is largely responsible for the way these things turned out. I think overlays are a great use for businesses. It gets people up online looking good, quick, fast, and in a New York second, as they say. So.
New York.
So you don't have to spend a lot of time doing the tweaking. You can concentrate on your content. There you go.
Right.
That's
exactly.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
And then dial it in afterwards and stuff. I mean, for me, the type of person that I am, what happens is my creative brain explodes. We're just giving you a starting point that you can stay with forever, or your creativity may come out and you may say, oh, I can do this and tweak this and kind of brand it and stuff. So yeah,
100%.
He's a handsome guy in the middle of that green one.
This guy, it was some stock footage fellow we found, some stock footage guy.
Yeah. Dude, I gotta tell you guys, super funny. When I used to work at CompUSA, my manager Danny, super funny guy. He was from Ghana, like hilarious. Just his African to English translations would just be super funny. One day I was in Target looking for a frame, and I guess before he became manager of CompUSA, he did some modeling, and there is Danny in the 8x10 and I bought the frame. Okay, I lied. I bought a box of frames and just placed them strategically around the store, so that everyone walking around the store would be like, "Why is Danny in the frame over in the Mac section? Wait, why is Danny in the frame in the Toshiba, section?" And turned out homie really was a stock model, so he's in a bunch of frames. If you see this tall, really dark looking brother with a fantastic smile, that is my old boss Danny, and he is still sold in stores today in those frames. So if you buy dollar store frames, you might see my old boy Danny in there. Super funny.
Hey,
Frames
that had
included,
nothing to
the
do with
band is
streaming,
sold
but it's
separately.
funny.
Right.
if you want to be a Let's Get Live overlay model, we'll send you the form for the release rights, and who knows, you may be in overlays all around the world.
100%.
I've been dying to meet the one Chinese girl who is the quintessential she's in so many products, because if you go look up like Asian Girl Smile on like iStock photo, she's it. And so she turns up in toothpaste ads, she turns up everywhere. It's the same one girl. And if you actually do a Google search, the most famous stock photo model, her picture comes up. I've been dying to meet her just to see, like, if she thought for 1 second when she took those pictures that every single like junk brochure, good brochure, dumb products, good products, her face would end up on. Oh, she's everywhere. And when you see it, you'll know, oh, I know who he's talking about, because she's everywhere. It's pretty funny.
That's hilarious.
I'm gonna just put this out there. I'm gonna be honest. I'm kind of in a hang out with my friends, live stream kind of mood today. I'm just
that's
letting
what live streaming is for.
I'm warning y'all
that's what
right
live streaming
now.
is all about.
He said today though. That's the funny part.
Today. So a quick question by Tommy.
Well, sometimes we have like really important like news information that we got to get to. You know,
I have.
And I know, but I miss everybody. I feel like we've all been kind of working, burning the candle at both ends in our own, kind of corners and stuff. And I get my little piece of heaven here hanging out with my friends. Diana's like the introvert. Leave me alone. I want to go to my corner. I'm the extrovert that's like hug.
All I imagine is like, yeah, you go out. I've gone back to my room, and here comes David knocking on the door. Hey, it's not nap time yet. We're going down the street. You want to come? So don't worry, I'm coming in. I got an extra card key from downstairs. I got your bag for you. Come on.
That's right.
Man, can we answer Tommy before he magically disappears?
Yes. Yeah. Tommy asked, what app edits the overlays in LGLs? Great question. So
I did. I already told him.
Ecamm does.
Ecamm. Yeah.
You guys will be highly impressed if you haven't checked out. For one, you can go to letsget.live and get access to the free overlay pack that we give you. And we've taken that and we've just gone to a whole other stratosphere with what these packs on the website can provide. So no matter what niche or industry that you're in, you can customize it. You can change the colors to be your specific brand colors. You can change the font to be your specific brand font. And you have that drag and drop ability in Ecamm to like make something larger or smaller as you prefer. And so you have the option to do all of that with these packs. So the bones and the structure more or less stays the same, but you have the freedom and flexibility within Ecamm. It's built natively in the software so that you can adjust it and rock with it.
Yeah, brand it for yourself and stuff. So pretty easy.
100%.
Easy peasy.
Easy peasy.
I want to say hello to Callie's here. Hey, Callie. Good to see you here. I just feel like she should be laughing off camera somewhere. Because that's what I'm just used to hearing all the time, and it cracks me up. She has the most amazing laugh. It's contagious.
I think we need a Callie. We need a Callie WebM to add to our stream just for fun also.
An overlay? Oh, there you go.
An overlay.
How did I miss
All right, gang. So, and Calico is in there.
A little higher.
Yeah.
Let me scroll back through. Everybody needs to get there.
Oh,
show love to everyone.
Lightsaber overlay.
Say, Callie's a little high.
Oh, okay. I got you. Yeah.
I'm joking. Gang, I got something. I'm itching over here. You guys are killing me. Okay, here's why I'm itching. Like, I'm gonna have to come out of this jacket and just go into my pink Manchester United shirt.
Oh, let's
because
do it.
I'm about to get warm. All right. This is a lovely pink Manchester United shirt. Anyway, dudes, this iPad family. Okay, now I'm just watching the reviews that have come out from all of the folks that have. Renee and I were on Mac Break Weekly. We were talking about it. We were talking about the new iMac and the new iPads a lot this week on Wednesday. If you want to get a good wrap up about them, go check out the Mac Break Weekly channel after this, of course. Family, this thing is ridiculous. Imagine the M1s that a majority of us have in a portable device that you can take everywhere. Now, what I wanted to talk about in relationship to streaming, kinfolk, is No, right now, with the exception of YouTube proper, maybe IG, you're not going to live stream from the device naked, right? Okay, that's only in YouTube and IG right now. There'll be some other stuff that comes out. Maybe you can use Restream Studio, possibly. Depends on how the thing works with the camera. But right now, there's no way to plug a different camera other than what's on there. So that's not really what I mean by for content creators or for live streamers. What I'm talking about is running your business a la Diana Gladney or Kat Mulvihill or Stephanie, these kin folks who come through, and the week before that thing is popping, you already know what's going on. The concept of building your trailers or chopping up your repurpose mode after your post-production, and LumaFusion upgrade is going to bring us to 1, 2, 3, 4 functioning real-time 4K streams editable at the same time. Like, do you understand the craziness that is editing 4 4K streams on a single timeline on a device that you can hold in your lap while you're chilling at the Panera having endless salad and soup? Like that's crazy, because what a lot of people will tell you, sometimes to get your creative juice going, you just need to change environment for a second. So if you're like David or Kombucha, you could take your iPad and go chill in the forest and sit there amongst the Tannenbaums and do some editing. Why y'all laughing at me?
Because you're funny, bro. You're funny.
Okay, I'm waiting for Snow White and the Seven Dwarves, and throw the seeds out to the woodland creatures. Just whole
this
imagination
is David
going on happen.
Frolicking in the briar, putting together a digital Buddha stream.
Well, look, I am
amongst the leaves.
I'm just mad at myself that I bought a new iPad Pro last year. And I wish I would have had the wherewithal. It's not going to stop me. Trust me.
Don't do that. Stop that.
Yeah.
Stop that
yes,
right now. You're never going to do that, number one. And number two, the resale value on it. The reason why I tell people not to do that is because a lot of times people need something right now, and then they will I wish I had my iPad down here. They will put it off because they're either thinking, oh, a better one's going to come. In the year that you didn't have it, you could have produced enough content to cover that cost 7, 8, 9, 10, 15, 11, 20 times over. So you got what you needed when you needed it. But you also remember, everyone in this stream, remember this. Apple products fantastically have amazing resale value. So sell it.
That's true.
Even it would be ludicrous, but even if you sold it for half of what you paid for it, again, ludicrous, because you can get at least 80%. You have already earned that gap anyway. So just supplant it with the new product when the new product comes.
Yeah, even from Apple.
Don't get into that mentality, because it's very hard to get out of. And that's how people end up working on the 2011 MacBook Air trying to stream.
We won't name any names. We will not name any names.
So I think with the new innovations that they're putting into these MacBooks, or not the MacBooks, but the iPads. I mean, when you think about the seamless integration from the Apple Watch to the phones to your computer, and you add one boss of a system that minimizes the stress and the strain that you have to put from a creative aspect, and one larger real estate, which any of our bespectacled folks would be happy to deal with. And it's just like, I'll tell you, the biggest frustration creatively has been seeing India with that Apple Pencil, and just like how fantastic it is with her iPad and just doing stuff. I was sitting in a drive-through one evening, and it was late, and I needed to put together a micro piece that I wanted. I just had an idea, and I'm like, okay, well, the line's gonna sit here for a second, so put the car in park for a second, and I started editing a video that I eventually posted to Instagram just from LumaFusion on my phone. Now you ramp that up. That's just like in the midst of whatever, from the framing. I took it from YouTube, from the framing, starting to add stuff. And then the only thing that I needed to do when I got home was add in the captions, or if it's an IGTV, you can shift that over as is and it'll have the automated captions if you don't want to, be bothered. But it's just like, so thinking about that just from like a traveling perspective, this last time, I thought about it. It's like, I don't know if I want to take my laptop, or when do I use it and stuff, and then like the getting up, the getting down, you can't have this, it's so much easier. Like when you think about from a creative side, I have my ZV-1, I have my phone, I have my Apple Watch, and if I had an iPad, that takes the place of a lot of things that I would do even creatively, just without, the need to have the computer. It's like the best of both worlds. I'm pumped for it.
100%. It's funny if you go back to the Vlogmas stuff and you watch India show you some of her flow, her note taking, her scratch, scratch ideas type things like that.
Right.
It's amazing. Right. Now, what a lot of people don't realize, because they never really do it, because everybody thinks it's not going to work for their handwriting, which is the dumbest thing you could ever do, is you go into Notion and you got your pencil, you pull it up, you can actually just write and it converts it back into your text. My handwriting, June will tell you, he's in there. My handwriting is freaking atrocious, but the iPad knows what I'm writing. So when you are just like, escribe tu nombre over here and you just jamming away and having that convert that back to text is good. Now, even if it was not flawless, even if it was 80 some odd %, that's still, you're increasing your typing, because you can sometimes creatively flow faster from the physical writing motion. So trust me, just get your app out. There's a tons of good notes. There's Notion. There's built-in Apple Apple Notes. There's 100 apps out there that you can do it, but just get in there and just let your ideas flow. That's one thing. Can fully run Photoshop and Illustrator. Now they're iPad versions, but they're a little different. There's Procreate, your Canva, building your social media posts and all of that stuff on the fly. You got Canva and Agora posts, or later, or missing letter, or Hootsuite, or whatever on your device. You can just sit there and go out of the house somewhere, mask on, hide in the corner somewhere, and do your calendar for the month without being as constrained. Like when you get the hang of using the keypad and the pencil, it is far more productive. It just is. It's something about the way it emulates a physical notebook, if you will. So I think those things are great, and we cannot not wonder how many of the apps that we love and so much will give us some things that we can do. But like Renee Ritchie famously says, you don't buy a device based on what might come later. But it's hard. Good. It's hard not to with this device, because another thing that goes missed, that port now is a real Thunderbolt port. So if you're out with your ZV-1 and you're shooting, you can get a USB to Thunderbolt cable, USB-C micro, USB-C. Sorry, I can't speak English. USB-B micro to Thunderbolt cable. Plug that sucker in, transfer your images right away. You could also use Image Edge to transfer via the Wi-Fi connection built in from camera to device. And all the photographer guys talk about editing their photos and that. Amazing. And then Miss D is showing right now on the screen, plug that sucker into a monitor when you're, oh my goodness, like it's getting close,
the real
bro.
Deal, Holyfield. I mean, this is because honestly, LumaFusion, before even some of their most recent updates and stuff like that, was absolutely incredible. If anybody's in a music production or anything like that, any of the business, who is like if you listen to any songs, it's like the business. You hear that intro, that audio chime. It's like anytime you hear that, it's like most of his stuff that he's been making over the last several years, he's been doing on an iPad. He's been editing his videos and his vlogs and his YouTube stuff on LumaFusion. He took all of the big things that have like this super long, executive style tables worth of electronics and gear, and condensed it down, because the gear is there. The gear allows you to be efficient, allows it to be small, and he could take a sling and his camera and stuff like that. So he's living a full-time production. Like, obviously, if you need other stuff or you want to do other things, but like tracks that he can send off to be mastered or what have you, and they're good to go. I think that's fantastic. We had a couple questions that came in early on I want to get to. So real quick, Sammy Superstar is asking, will Ecamm work with the iPad Pro M1?
Okay, let me put a foot in that ass real quick for everyone who wants to believe this. Because this drives me batty, and I've said it 100 times. I'll say it 101. iPad has the same chip as the machines now, but they speak different languages. Okay, right. So whereas June and I are brothers, right? We both have hearts, eyes, mouth, lungs, the whole 9 yards. I speak English. He speaks Korean. Actually, we both can speak the other, but that's a different conversation. But you get it. Like, we are the same. He's cuter, but they're different. It's not an easy, direct translation. It took me many, many, many years to get the ability to be an omniglot. It will take some time for our favorite app people to just take an app and convert it into iPad OS. 2 things that the world is waiting for. What we'll know next month, June 7th, we'll know, Sammy, how much faster the conversion will happen with iOS 15 and whatever they do to Xcode. Like, what will the tools be given to us by Apple to make those translations quicker? Call it Rosetta Stone. It's kind of the reason why the app thing that lets app work is called Rosetta. And then secondarily, it will be how fast can these teams ramp up and get things to that level. So in Adobe, for instance, Lightroom was right away. Why? Because they understood photographers would be mobile. So Lightroom was quick to get to iPad. Everything else take like 3 years. But Lightroom had to happen because that was the most logical one from a standpoint. So yes, I'm not here to pee on your Wheaties and say that the dream isn't there. Trust me, the dream is alive in Portland, sleep till 11. But you do have to understand that they are completely different languages that just happen to have the same chip.
Right. That's good.
Yeah.
This is a good follow-up.
I got it. Make it easier. A6400 and the Z6 have the same chip. One of those cameras work.
What was the follow-up, Diana?
So Sammy asked, is this going to be a laptop replacement? And I think that this is a good question because for some people, I think that answer is both yes and no. I think for some people and a lot of people, it makes them not have to buy the MacBook Airs. It makes them not have to worry about a MacBook Air and some form of a tablet or an iPad or something so that they can get what they need. A lot of people still are having to carry redundancies really for small minimal things, from like a calendar integration with a note padding system or something that cross-references or integrates with another system it's really based on how people use it. And because a lot of professionals are becoming creative professionals by default in the nature of where we are, I think a lot of people will replace their laptop, especially in certain areas of life when it comes to traveling or light trips when it comes to traveling for work or something like that.
Yeah, I much prefer the iPad to my laptop. It's just smaller, portable, powerful. I mean, pretty much does everything that I need it to do.
What did it for me, David, was so my last trip to Japan, I purposely left the notebook home. I only took the iPad. When I started moving all of my stuff to cloud-oriented services, cloud storage and all of that, it's an easier task. If you don't do cloud storage and things like that, it becomes a harder task. So, Sammy, to your point, if you want it to be a laptop replacement, you are going to have to go and get like a 2 terabyte iCloud account or Google Drive account or a Dropbox account in order for it to be there. But the people that say, well, I can't use it because it's not like an iPad, that's because they're not willing to do the things that it takes. Not like a laptop. They're not willing to do the things that it takes to make it become a laptop. For what the majority of the population use a laptop for, it can absolutely replace it provided they start to deal with some of the syncing services. But a lot of people, they're kind of like, they don't understand how it works or something, and they just don't. Because I got people like, no, I need my laptop. Why? Well, because I use Word and Excel. I was like, bro, we were past that like 9 years ago.
My mom, listen, I got a whole 30-second or less rant. My mom, I've had this conversation with her twice in like the last 2 weeks. I need a computer. I said, you need to stop playing the PC game. For what you are trying to do is nothing wrong if you want to use both systems. But that was the one that I said, what are you doing and what do you need? And she started listing off stuff. I was like, you can do that. It's built in, or it comes natively. Stuff like, honestly, stuff that QuickTime does takes up a lot of frustrations for what a lot of people need in businesses. Just to, like today in the Ecamm Live beta group, I was asking for a feature request for a specific thing. And I can't remember if it was Ken or Glenn that asked, like, can you send a video clip of the what? Cool. Use quiz. I'm needing to show what's happening in Ecamm, so I couldn't use the record only feature in Ecamm. So in QuickTime, I open it up, set the Rodecaster Pro and the Shure SM7B as the audio source, set the dimensions for what I'm trying to capture, and that video's done, and I uploaded it. I went to the restroom and came back. It was already there and replied to. That efficiency saves me the ability from having to use a Google Chrome, something that's specific to the internet, or having to buy another software tool that has the same things. Also, when I have that saved video, if I want to outline or circle something, I have the ability to do that. All of this stuff, whether I want to make a transparent background, I want to adjust images, anything that I need is available basic, like it's a baseline thing. I just think like, it's so frustrating because, like I said, my mom, the biggest thing that she was saying was like, I need Microsoft Word. I said, Mom, Google Docs. End of conversation. It's the same shortcuts, same keystrokes, same thing. I said maybe one or two things may be listed in a different place, but there's nothing that you can tell me that you can't do that's not in a Google product someplace or natively, maybe in an app store or something that you would already need or use anyway. Like that connection, I think that's more of an emotional adjustment for a lot of people more than it is a technical adjustment because it's just not there.
I have a question regarding the iPad and YouTube and content creation and stuff. And because I'm a relatively new tuber, as I like to refer to myself.
You know, tuber now.
I like that word.
No tuber.
The YouTube Studio on iPad. How is it? I mean, is it?
I use it every single day of my life.
Okay, so it's as good as the you know on the desktop and stuff. It's
there is no YouTube Studio on the desktop. YouTube Studio on desktop doesn't exist. There you go. So iPad is a browser, and you can say, "Show me the desktop version." So,
but it has an app, right?
Oh, it does have an app, but the app is not.
Hold on. All right, go ahead.
Copyright strike enabled.
That really?
No,
on that one?
Who knows?
Yeah.
It's I'm pretty sure
you
stole that from someplace. Same way, like we have no rights to use these things. We're professionals, by the way.
I stole it from Miss Dunn.
I'm bringing Sissy back.
I did not give you that. I did not give you that at all. David just over here just going on Google. How do I rip that off?
No.
So David, in theory, the app is fine, and I use the app all the time. Every once in a while, the app would do something that's irritating me, and I can't catch it. So all I do is open either Safari or Chrome. And a lot of people don't know this. You can go into your Chrome settings on the iPad and say always, not sometimes, not the buttons always, sometimes never. If you don't check out Doc's Freaking Weekend Tips, I'll explain it to you. You can say always. You can always load the desktop browser mode. You can tell it to always load the desktop browser mode. So
now, real quick,
my Chrome is set up to do that.
Rob said Microsoft Word is greater than Google Docs. Cast your votes in the chat now. Which is better, Microsoft Word or Google Docs? I'm gonna tell you my vote. That I am so glad you have that because that is exactly. Thankfully, But you can support this stream by going to letsget.live/shop and get yourself an overlay pack. You heard me? So
yeah. and put some money on our commissary for when we all in jail because of David.
Put something on the books.
Hey, y'all, can y'all get a kite to the women's prison, please? I gotta say what's up to my sister.
So real quick, let's take a quick vote. Microsoft Word or Google Docs? Go.
Dr. Rock
Google
the Docs. Google Docs all day.
Google Docs. I haven't used Microsoft Word in years.
Yeah, it's
Google Docs everything.
Yeah, I think again, I think it's an emotional attachment from like that transition. Like I was talking to my brother, and we was going someplace, and we were hanging out, and so I was telling him I had just got the Apple Watch, and so I said, man, listen, I understand what you're talking about with your Android phone and you love it. I was like, the Google Pixel phones are the bomb.com. I was like, however, I said, for what you're trying to do, this business is getting ready to start. I said, I promise you the Apple integrations and stuff that you're trying to do, you need it. It's like having little assistants that are digital. Now, the SIRI, I won't say her name, comparative to the Google Assistant is much smarter, but you also like can have shortcuts and stuff. So I have on mine where I can just say, hey, Google, my phone wakes up, and I'm probably trigger some people that have, if they have one, if it wakes up and it goes straight to it because of a shortcut that I have. So I don't have to use SIRI if I don't want to. And so I was telling them, I was like, even from a GPS, and I had that going on my phone for whatever address that we were going to, and just a little 2 buzzes on my wrist to let me know I'm still getting directions on my wrist. Or I went for a walk someplace, and it was like, turn left here, because I was trying to find some weird post office. And I was like, some of these things, it's just like small efficiencies that you don't have to download an app for. You don't have to do this. You don't like, it's hoops that you don't have. And I think Google Docs and their ecosystem works in much of the same way.
It's funny. Rob mentioned the mail merge feature. That's called MailChimp, bro. We don't need that anymore. Like, we barely use that at all. And there's things out there like plugins like Gmass and some other that can kind of cover that, for the win.
Yeah.
I wanted to touch on something that Eric said real quick, and then just because I don't want to lose the comment. Eric said, in my eyes, iPads are perfect for consumption. For production tasks, I need an iMac or a laptop. I guess I'm an old man after all. I can't adapt. Bruh, let me fix that conversation for you real quick. There are a whole bunch of people that think that because originally they just saw it as a larger iPhone. Again, not just handing the business. There are tons of albums that are created completely in the iPad. There are tons of videos that you watch on YouTube every day completed completely in an iPad. It can do, for that level of production stuff that you're speaking of, even coding, like with Coda is amazing. So you're a WordPress guy. You can do all of that stuff coding in with Coda or Panic app, Panic.app. You can do all of that stuff on an iPad. And here's the thing is, because you had to pull the old man card, because you were just dumb enough to say that to me, check this out. Look at the display specs on the iPad from last year, and then realize they just took that sucker and gave it 2 shots of steroids in both butt cheeks, and look at the liquid retina XDR display that just came out. And so if your old man comment is worried about your eyes, the iPad, the new iPad, there's no display that you're going to find that even calculates that without the 6K XDR display at $6K. So you gotta adjust these weak-minded thinking stuff. You gotta adjust it. You got go look at it, and then tell me that every review so far said of all of the things it does, and yes, the M1 is amazing, and blah blah blah. Oh my God, this display! Every single, not some of the reviews, even the PC hater reviews came in and was like, oh my God, this display. So yeah,
I think I bought I ran through 3 laptops, and these weren't cheap, so I went through 3 laptops within the course of like a year. Like when I first got started with video, I had no idea how much like pressure I was putting on it, but I'm like, I'm asking the questions, I'm doing the research, and I'm definitely spending the money, and these mugs just passed out. And so I got 3 bump PCs just like sitting on the floor. like that passed away. I got a 2013 MacBook Pro because I thought, now again, all of these computers were new at the time and had just come out. I got a 2013 MacBook Pro, which at that time was already a few years old. So it may be like 3 or 4 years old at that time. The display, when I open it up, and the speakers even, none of the 3 computers that I bought sounded as good. None of the 3 computers that I had bought, and I mean successively buying, like every 2 to 3 months I was buying something else, another computer, because I'm like, that one went out and I just did not have time for repairs or nothing. I had to keep creating content, and I was just starting. And so none of them looked the same, like as good. None of them sounded amazing. Like it's very few things that have made me audibly say wow or like a whoa. And that was one of those times. And then like even from like the iPhone 7, from any of the Android phones that I had, and then pulling out the iPhone 11, it was like, wow. Like you literally see the difference in the quality, even though the last quality wasn't that bad. And it's like, when you think about the creative process, like brings us into like our next topic that we had scheduled today.
Wait, I just got to tell somebody something real quick. Jeremy, shut up. I'm so mad at him right now. He texts me every day. Hey, Doc, my order shipment's coming. Hey, Doc, look what I ordered. Because I fell asleep on the order day, so my joint is not scheduled to come until the second week of June to the early week of July. It's like way out. And so JD been messing with me constantly, clouding me. And he's like, "Oh, mine's coming tomorrow." And I'm like, "Shut up." He texts me, look at my FedEx update. Here you go. I'm gonna kill him.
like here's your tracking. Look, you know what?
He's
really
like, "Look,
bad.
I want to unbox it in the LGO group just for you, Doc." I'm like,
all you gotta do
I'm gonna kill you.
Let them send the text alerts for the shipments. Have it sent to Doc's phone number.
Yeah.
That's how you.
Damn it! Damn it, Mr. Dunn did it. Damn it.
Okay.
He clowning me, bro. It's so funny though. But no, Eric, I feel you. Like, I get it, the idea of the multiple displays and stuff like that, and you can connect it to a monitor. But I have done some serious like repair a customer site on the fly while I was in a train in Japan going from Tokyo to Osaka, and I was able to go in and un-F somebody's WordPress site. So I'm just saying, if you want to squeeze yourself that way, knock yourself out. Stay stuck. I'm finna let my freak flag fly.
Okay, so we got a few questions before we go on to our next one, just because I think it's like we're in that creative, that vibe. Eric over there, you're feeling the sting on the pop.
I love Eric.
So blind guy, his wife, their life, asking, since we're going in on the M1, question is, what are your thoughts on it regarding live stream?
Well, like I said earlier, for now, we're kind of stuck as a pre-production, post-production device. It might work as an ancillary camera. You're going to use it for writing your scripts or doing your comment, but just coming in and answering your comments, like the thing that everybody hates doing, but you need to do, like that kind of stuff is where it's going to shine. We are probably 6 to 8 months out before we see apps that will let us stream directly. I know for a fact that everybody's wanting to see Ecamm just instantly get ported. It's not an instant port, fam. It's just not that. Yeah. So it's just one of those things, like, we know that it's something people want, but things have to be done.
I have a question for you.
Yes, go ahead.
So part of this new iPad M1 update and everything, they also updated the cameras massively. Could you use it as a streaming camera? I mean,
yes, you can.
I don't know what. I mean, I haven't tested it, but
no, it's where everybody. So Marquez, Matt, and Renee, they all love the center stage. And then so what happens is center stage is a thing that you would go into the setting for your app. So for instance, I get an update for Filmic Pro. Filmic Pro will have a checkbox to allow me to use center stage. So if I put my iPad over here as my side view and I have it connected to the Mac via the proper cable, I can have center stage there. So when I do one of those talk amongst yourselves to come over here to get something, the camera will follow me and y'all will see me moving to come back and grab my product of the week, which is Doc Lightsabers.
Yes, yeah, so I guess technically, if you want to and you want to go straight to a platform and stuff, and not get jiggy with your Ecamm stuff, you could use it as a live streaming device.
I think.
Oh, absolutely. But only YouTube will be ready out of the gate. I think everybody else is going to require some updating.
So
Gotcha. Okay.
here's what they're showing right now. They're saying it is a 12 megapixel camera, and for those that don't understand that, it's good. All right, so 10 megapixels on the ultra wide camera. The other thing is that it's also this M1 chip is in there, so you have to think processing power being like the brain, and
that's the ISP part right there.
Yeah, it has it here. It's like, so it's like you have to think of like the processor operating something to an effect of like a brain, and these acting somewhat to the effect like a lens or glasses or something like that. And it's just going to like this. It's a match made in heaven.
Can you show the front camera real quick, because that's going to be where the magic happens. And gang, the ISP, the image signal processing. If you have an iPhone 10 or forward, go outside and take a night picture and watch. Right when it goes to save the image, it gets brighter. That's the image signal processing. So this front camera is also 12 megapixels, which is the key, right? It's going to give you incredible stuff. Now, this true depth right here is what's going to allow you to get that bokeh in certain reactions. And if you scroll down a little bit further, I do believe they show you how they build the image. This is what center stage looks like. If it goes, you're unfamiliar with what I was talking about. Notice as soon as the seed pops in, it adapts so that mom can see both dad and the seed. You know what I mean? The child, for those non-hip hop vernaculars, David.
No, basically, I got it. I got it.
I was teasing. It automatically adjusts accordingly, right? And then so one of the things that's going to be cool about this is if you have this, again, say plugged in as an ancillary camera to your show. Say right now you only have your ZV-1 or your A6400 or your M50. I'm going to challenge, and Jeremy and I will be able to tell you soon enough, maybe. I think that this camera plugged into Ecamm on your desk will probably outshine an M50.
Hold on.
That was some heavy marination right there.
Which button is appropriate? Let me see here.
I mean,
he tried to think.
This stream is brought to you by nobody, but
oh my God.
No, but it's
NBC is.
So
excuse me, Mr. Blackman.
here's my thoughts on that, because a lot of people give sometimes credit to what a camera can do when it's really the lens performance. Because unless the sensor does matter. If you have a crippled sensor, it's like, can you see after you've been punched in the eye? Technically, yes, but you can see better when you haven't been punched in the eye. So it's kind of like, that's the difference between a sensor that is crippled, and even though it could do better, the company is not allowing it to do better, versus, for example, with some of the Sony sensors that are in different manufacturers and stuff like that, that is not crippled, and they're giving you more or less the best that it can produce at that time that the camera's coming out. And so when you think about the lenses on these phones, yes, they're small, but in comparison to what they're able to throw out and versus like a camera, most people will say, well, oh, the sensor is not going to be that good, or, a mirrorless got to be better. It's depicted upon, for example, like a Canon camera, it's going to be depicted upon the lens. So you can put a $2,500 lens on there and be like, see, the M50 looks good. No, that lens looks great.
Looks good. Yeah. Jeremy pointed out to check out Federico's article. Federico's my dude. I love this cat. For the people that say that an iPad can't be used as a computer, I command you, doctors prescribing, go check out Mac Stories. Federico Vitucci has been doing iPad only since iPad 2. Like, he has an entire business around, I'm going to show you how to rock the world, iPad only, no MacBook ever. And he does the most amazing things. So again, for all the people that don't believe it can be done, go check it. But I just put the link because JD was saying, check out his demonstration of center stage, and then you'll get to see what it is. But trust me, Federico is a phenom, and like the dude writes apps, so I don't know what Eric talking about. I'm just saying.
Yeah, 100%. Last question I just want to touch on real quick. Simply all I'm saying, okay, just to let you go, I'm a Canon girl that is probably going to Sony. Autofocus failed on a live stream. So here's the thing. All autofocusing systems have the potential to fail. And it's not just the camera's internal autofocusing. Sometimes you can have a lens that doesn't perform as well. And I don't think a lot of people know this. When you are investing in a camera, you do want a camera. So if you are in the Canon span, you want to make sure your camera has what's called dual pixel autofocus. It's a phase detection autofocus, and it's going to focus faster. If you have something that's like a Canon T5i, a Canon T6i, Canon M3, or one of their older models, and you start going back trying to maybe, for some people that, maybe want to catch a deal on something that was cheap in the area, okay, those more or less either have contrast detection autofocus, but all those that I just named would have what's called hybrid autofocus. Some contrast and some phase detection, but it wasn't their best at the time, so you're going to have questionable autofocus. Now, if you have even a camera with dual pixel autofocus, it still has the potential to fail depending on what kind of lens that you put on there. Some lenses, if they're older, let's say some of these 17 to 50 f2.8 lenses that you can get for like $500 or something, because you're trying to get a wide angle with the lower aperture, blurry background, all that stuff, but you're trying to save some money. You figure, well, what's wrong with the old lens? I can go that. And it's like, no, they're going the motors in the lens focus slowly, and it sucks. And so sometimes it's the lens's fault. The camera's like, I see it, I know what to do, and the lens is like pulling a Panasonic on you. So, you got to be, everything has a potential to fail. You just got to know how to work what you got, and also know if it's a lens problem, because sometimes people get rid of cameras and it was never nothing wrong with the camera. It was all the lens. Maybe you got invested in the wrong thing. So take that in consideration for those that are.
Just think about you can't see. You go to the doctor, you get some good glasses, you can see. And then the other thing, I've experienced, lens crafter glasses, and then I've experienced the wonder of good Japanese Seiko lenses. And considering they make the best actual camera lenses in the world, when I upgraded and bought these as opposed to, my Warby Parkers, I can see freaking people moving around in the map. Now, I don't suggest everyone buy these lenses, because these freaking thing, the lenses itself was 600 bones, but I can see much better. So it's worth it, because I like to see.
Before we dive off into the next thing, Tommy's asked the same question twice, so maybe we can touch on it.
Where is that at?
I meant to answer, Tommy.
He asked about the keyboard, the Apple keyboard versus third party. I have the Apple keyboard. And I'll tell you, Tommy, I love it. I've never used the third party. So maybe Doc can talk about third party versus, but
the bridge keyboards are legit. This is my old Apple Folio, right? This is the one that you just put it in, you close it.
I had that
whatever.
one,
This was missing the floaty thing. I put I did something that I tell you that I don't do no more. When that first one came out with the floaty joint, I was like, $350. Bad word, please. No, I'm not fitting to do that. That's just dumb. Not for a keyboard, blah, blah, blah. So I poo-pooed it. I kicked it. I talked a lot of smack for like a year and a half. And then when the new iPad that's coming up now came out, I said, you know what? Let me holler. So I called up my friends at Apple and I got one. And bruh, it is a game changer. I am so mad that I talked myself out of getting it when it came out like a year and a half ago, because it is fantastic. Actually, it was last year this time, but it's fantastic. It sounds crazy because it's half of another computer, but it's amazing. It is amazing.
Show us the keyboard again, Doc.
Fast. It's on my iPad. It's the one that David has. This is the old one. This one is like,
let me go grab it. I'll be right back.
Yeah, man, it's a game changer. Now, Logitech makes fantastic third-party keyboards for it. The Bridge keyboard is also super epic, but that new Magic keyboard for the iPad is the truth. So if your wallet will let you do it, do it. If not, then don't. Just get a regular keyboard. Half the time, my iPad keyboard is this. I take this and I stick it in my backpack. I have a hard cover for it. And I'll take this, I'll post the iPad, I'll tap on this because I can just move faster. So if I know I'm gonna do a lot of typing, I'll just take my keyboard.
Yeah, this is.
But that's why they make 60% keyboards.
All right. I am back, Ms. D.
I got you on screen, brother.
You do? I don't see me.
Are your eyes open?
In preview mode. You're in preview mode.
You're in preview mode.
There you go. There you go.
So
that thing is dope.
This is the new one. I mean, this thing is just your iPad, pretty much the width. And then when you open it, it's here. It'll sit on a desk. It's basically like a laptop, like your desk. You have a desk. And I want to pop this off. I'm gone. You know, I want this.
The favorite part, David, is show in your hand where the other port is for the charging. So I can charge on one side. I can put my Thunderbolt drive on the other side. So that's on the keyboard, the other side.
Oh yeah.
Flip, turn them around. There you go.
Wrench around.
Yeah, that guy.
Oh. Which one? Right here?
Yeah, the one by your thumb. Yeah, that extra one right there. I put the power cord there, so that way I can put. No, you did not know that.
I was about to say
I did not know that.
I was like to say that's a thing. Like it's something. Like that's a something in there. It's a
Holy
thing in there.
Hold on.
I thought it was just a. I didn't.
How did I
not? I did not know that was a thing in the thing. I saw the little slit. I just thought it was like a design or something. I've never seen one in person, but it's just like looking at it, I would have never thought that was something. Listen.
This is why I'm grateful every day that Doc is in my life.
I love you, black man. So check it out, fam. Here's what I do. I take this. This is made by Hyperdisk, right? This goes into the regular side, the part that's built into the iPad. So I plug this in, and then it gives me SD slot. It gives me USB slot. It gives me another place to put in another USB thing, and then Transflash, aka micro SD, and headphone jack. All of the above come from this, right? If you don't want to sit it on because your case doesn't fit, then it comes with a little tether thing, like a little ding-a-ling, and so you can connect it like this. And then you can
welcome to the screen.
I have not heard that since 3rd grade.
Sorry.
Okay, we're gonna go there. No, we're going there. So look, it was this boy named Chevis in the back of the classroom.
How he named after whiskey?
He raised his hand and he said our teacher name was Mrs. Jones. He said, Mrs. Jones, I got a question. She was like, what? He stood up, pulled his pants down. He said, ding-a-ling. And that is exactly what came to my
mind. I was channeling Chuck Berry. Chuck Berry, my song. One day I was walking on the garden wall, then I had a terrible fall. I fell so hard I could hear a bell ring. Then I felt my dang-a-ling. Anyway, so the point is, it comes with a couple adapters to make it fit a MacBook or a MacBook Air or an iPad, but it was designed for the iPad. It sticks right on. If you want to use the tether, you just unscrew this black part with this little screwdriver, and then you hardwire it so it becomes a hardwire thing that tethers. But again, the advantage of this is when I stick this on the side of my iPad, which does fit perfectly with the Magic Keyboard, I can leave the other port open to charge. So that means that this pass-through port, now I can actually use it to connect the hard drive. And this is how you edit LumaFusion like a boss. Or, I do entire DJ gigs. I show on my iPad, they like, where's your stuff? I'm like, here. They're like, no. Like, where's all your, this is it. I bring this and my DJ controller. They go, where's all your music? Right here. And I plug this sucker in, and it says all the songs from like the 50s forward, and just hanging off my iPad with a little smidge of Velcro. And then I have my Newmark controller in the front. And they're like, this dude showed up to DJ our party with a backpack. We was expecting a van, a couple Samoan dudes to help him carry records. And I got everything. So again, all these people I need a laptop. No, you don't. You've been brainwashed. Unbrainwash yourself.
I need those adapter thingamabobs that you've, got.
Links will be available in the description.
I will put the links in the description.
Put the links in the description.
And everybody leaves this stream today with a funny story that you can tell that I remember from there.
Miss D and her dingly.
I promise you, it's like some stuff you forget, but it's other things that just like for whatever reason your brain says, remember this one for forever. It's like I forget what
Tommy
I wore
is correct.
3 days ago.
Tommy, you're correct. The DJ app is. I'm gonna show you guys what's in my little makeup bag one day, because I love Miss D's makeup bag video. Was not really makeup; it's just all the stuff that's your tech bag. I love it. One of these days, I will put together what's in my makeup bag video. Yes. Man, I'm David. I'm laughing at you.
I want what's in Doc's makeup bag. That's for dang sure.
I'm still laughing at David. Didn't know that PowerPoint was over there.
I'm sure so many people miss that too. It's kind of like the same thing at the end, at the bottom of your camera. For those that are built that way, that little rubber door that you use to open the door is like
for the
usually
dummy
a little
battery.
flap. Yeah, it's a built-in thing for the flap. I had somebody that was so frustrated and upset. I've had several people like this because they were like, I cannot get this door to close. This camera's stupid. It's broken. I'm sitting it back. And I would send them a 3-second video in the Instagram DMs and said, this is how you do it. They were like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. I can't. So it's sometimes it's the small things that we overlook. It's like, but that's why it's important to read the manuals.
I mean, that just expanded this thing even more. I was loving it without.
Hey, you know what's real funny, David, which you might not even, not David, but funny in general, people don't often realize the battery door comes off of your camera. You can actually take the whole battery door off. And the reason why it does that is so you can put the grip.
With the Sony cameras, and some of the Canon ones are a little bit different because it has to have a connection to the battery door or whatever the thing is that sensor is or whatever. It's like you have to have something there. With the Sony ones, you don't. So for the longest time, especially for like my streaming camera, I'll just leave the door open because if I'm putting a memory card in for the occasions that I may want to record internally and live stream at the same time, it doesn't matter if the door is open, so I could leave it there. And that is such, like in regular recording, I remember when my first camera was the Canon T5i, and I thought it was fantastic. And one of the basic amazing things about that camera was that it had a battery, had the memory card thing separate from the battery door. So I didn't have to take it off the tripod or do anything different. I could just, and that's such a huge unlock. But the fact that with the Sony cameras, you don't have to, and I'm sure like maybe Nikon and Olympus or something is like that as well. You don't have to worry about your camera powering off when you open the door. You stop recording, you open the door, or you can keep recording and open the door, and you're ready to go. So it's like a quick switch. And it's like, well, what purpose would that serve? Case in point, I was doing an event for Think Media. It was recording one of their Grow with Video live events. Okay, so I'm running the cameras. I have the tight angle shot that's on a long telephone. This 70 to 200 lens was absolutely fantastic for Sony. And then I'm also running another one that's a wider angle lens. And when Omar comes up and he hands me the new card or whatever the case is, it's an easy swap. Stop recording on both of them, pull the cards out, we swap, he puts it in the case, takes it over to the station so the other guys can start offloading it and backing it up and putting it back in. So you got to think past just like the what you may use it for and to what your scenarios are going to be going into, because you may be doing and decide you want to do an in-person 30 to 35 people live event. And it may be at your local library or whatever. You have the tools built in so you could teach your niece or nephew how to roll with the camera. So one comes over, brings them the memory card, swap, and you're off to the races. So stuff like the little charging port and stuff like that on the thing that David got, that's magical.
That's magical. I mean, magical.
Saying, does the battery door on the ZV-1 come off too? Technically, yes.
Yes.
Technically, yes. Now, here's the thing. Don't y'all go fiddling with this stuff and then post it in the group Oh man, y'all gotta help me. I didn't broke. Like, listen, if you do not know what you are doing, don't touch anything. Put it away. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. If you don't know what you're doing, you don't know what you're doing, you don't touch nothing. You understand? So it's like you can, but in certain use cases. For the ZV-1, I have not found with the Ulanzi. Look, I just use the bottom part. I don't do the whole cage or nothing. I just use the what is it? It's not Ulanzi. UU rig.
Yeah, it is.
That's
UU rig. That's still
UU rig.
That is still
the same
Ulanzi.
company. Yeah, it's like the UU rig bottom thing. It has a little cheese grater plate at the bottom, so you can see all the different holes for you to put for your tripod thread. Well, I just put it one thread to the left, and it completely allows me to access the battery door or leave it open. So it is completely handled with the small, was like $20, $30 thing. Plus you get some other fun stuff that you can do with that little adapter thing. So I wouldn't say take it off the ZV-1, honestly.
No, I wouldn't either. And here's why. Because what June was trying to get at is if you take this cable, which came with the ZV-1, and you plug it in the side like this, and then you reach into your purse and you pull out your anchor that you use for charging, and you go like this is your dummy battery. But it's not just the ZV-1. It's every Sony camera made since Jesus walked in Nazareth.
So here's the thing. Here's the fun thing, though. Here's
the
amazing thing.
Go into the menu and go USB power, and you are square.
Here's where we at with the ZV-1 right now. If you have the, so I don't know if for some people if they upgraded to Big Sur or not, but to my understanding, you couldn't do the update if you were on Big Sur. I'm not somebody that as soon as an update comes out, I wait. I let everybody else work through the kinks, and then like 5 months later, I update so I can keep all my stuff running.
I must be kinky then, because I always update.
No, I never. It'll be a year with whole new features. But what'll happen is if you are able to, like, if you don't have Big Sur, according to the last update with the ZV-1, you can not only do the internal live stream, which this is amazing for real. You can not only do the live stream via USB, you don't need any softwares or no nothing. It's in the camera natively. You have access to charge your camera simultaneously as it is also live streaming via USB. Number 3 on that one, you also have the ability to not, and this is a first, I promise you, as much as I study and look into the camera technology in space and what's possible for creators, nobody else's camera allows you to do this via USB. I'm streaming through USB because when I was in San Diego, I did this. It's charging via USB. It's live streaming through that same USB port. And number 3, the audio from the headphone jack is still fully accessible, so I could connect a Rode Wireless Go 2 to my thing if I want to, and I'm good to go if that's what I want to use. So
you can use the Go if you want to.
Yeah, never before. It's like, could you also get audio if you were streaming via USB? It just wasn't possible. For whatever reason, Sony just turned that switch off. If it was a switch, I thought it was like just a thing. Like there's no way. But it must be something that can be done because the ZV-1 can absolutely do it. And that by itself... Yeah, but what?
Freaking David.
We're going to get it. We're going to have somebody break into your house and only steal the Rodecaster. It's like, just put it to the side.
Yes. I'm going to, you said a hitman to kill somebody? Hey, look, man, I want you to do a hit, but all I want you to do is steal this dude's Rodecaster Pro, and then I got you $10,000. All right.
Yeah, 100%. So, hey, Kombucha, good to see you. Glad that you're here. Shout out to everybody that's been coming. Make sure y'all hit the like button for the stream if you've been enjoying what you heard, if you learned something new, if you having fun, and if you remember my 3rd grade story that I know is going to come back to bite me.
Elaine said she finna use that one. That was funny, bro. That was funny.
Listen, you die, and you got people that want to come up and say something about you. I remember being on a live stream, and Diana was there, and she told a story about a dangling.
Want to hear? Here it goes.
Like, here it go. One time I was in 3rd grade, and this boy pulled out his wee-wee. Thank you very much.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Dude, I gotta tell you, man, of all the stuff we do all week, Thursday stream is the best to me because I just never stop laughing every time.
Yeah.
100%.
It's funny. Because then I don't have to be on. I could just sit here and laugh at David.
Yeah. Me too.
And here's the thing. Y'all don't know. We can do a meeting or we could be talking and then David's like, hold on. And it's like, here we go. You know it's coming. He didn't added something else to his Rodecaster Pro. It'd be different if like you only had, what is it, 2, 4, 6, 8 buttons here. And it was like you only had to choose between 8 things, but you have unlimited banks that you can just keep adding. And I just feel like David is trying the software, just like, let's see how much can you take.
Of course.
And Aubrey said that she loves our sounds because, you know, Diana and I don't even know why we bought a Rodecaster Pro because both of us just do makeup onomatopoeia sounds of our own. So like for me, I'm like, you know, you click it and then it go and then you're good. And then Diana was like, you know anything me
exactly.
You know? So Aubrey was cracking up. She's like, I love your sounds. I'm like, man, maybe we should sell sound packs right next to the overlays. It just random homemade sounds from
exactly.
Yeah. I was you know what it was, Aubrey, it was Police Academy when I was a kid. I freaking love what's his name? Mike Winslow. Oh my God. I think that's his name. That guy with the Police Academy with the
He was brilliant.
Oh my God. Ever since then I used to want to be
say custom sounds on the shop. Oh yeah.
Not the stolen ones that David has, but the legit ones.
Oh my God, you guys are killing me.
Good to see you,
today.
Scott. Glad that you're here. Y'all be sneaking. Listen,
See,
2022 is going.
It's Steve, and I call him Scott too because I read SEO art glasses, Scott.
Yeah,
but
Steve.
it's Steve.
I always see like it just
no relation
like
to
Scott.
Terrell.
Right.
Or Turl. Hey, and Steve, I'm waiting. My UPS package, USPS package says it's on the way. So I can't wait to get it. I'm excited. I had him make something for my mother-in-law and I can't wait to see it.
Oh,
it's going to be dope.
That LBC fan sound. Oh, yeah.
Right.
I got that one on deck. I got that on every bank.
She said not the stolen ones. Hold up. First of all, it was our sound effects that we mimicked off the original. So technically, this is a 50-50 split here on this sound pack. We got a copyright straight already, and the pack ain't even came out yet.
That's super funny. All right, gang, we ran long today, and all of us have a meeting, so let's get out. We can talk about other stuff later. The main thing I wanted you guys to know, pay attention to your live stream in your back channel on YouTube. You might get the ability to make trailers for your shows. So if you know you're planning your show like a week, 2 in advance and you want to add a trailer, they did add that. We'll talk about that, next week. We'll get more into it. I had no idea you guys were going to be all in on iPad.
That was a shocker. That was a shocker.
That
but
was
I think
an
a lot of
absolute
people
shocker.
I just think a lot of people are seeing the possibilities. Like, I think a lot of people are finding their way. I think 2020 was so much of a rush to jump in and like feel like you have to get this and like don't have enough. And I feel like now everybody's kind of finding their groove with what they need and what they like and what they don't like. And so now we're seeing them able to like really develop systems of what they want and how they want, like how they creatively work. And I love that so much. So I think it's time. I think it's time. A lot of people are going to have a great time with these iPads with the M1 chip.
100%. I can't wait to get this all flushed out. It looks like Slack made it back. Slack was down for like an hour, but now it's back because Ecamm is blowing up. Anyway, gang, thank you guys for watching the Thursday stream this weekend live. We will see you next week. If you know anybody that needs to see this, make sure you send them a link. Let them know we stay over here. We be here on a regular basis. And tell them to be warned that David might sing and he might play some like 1940s hip hop track before hip hop was just hop.
Yes,
and they'd be like, y'all heard this before?
Break out.
Don't do it.
Tune.
Don't do it, David.
Okay,
Don't
not
do
today.
It.
Next week. Hey, you got to come back next week because that's when I'm going to do it. But you got to come back next week.
hey, remember? I don't know if you guys remember the early Flash thing. I'm gonna do something to you, something real bad. Oh God. June, we got to dig that up and put it in the group. Gang, if you have any questions, comments, or feedback, by all means, please put them in the comment section below. And don't worry, if you're watching this on the replay squad and you do have a question and you just want us to cover it, please drop it in there because we do check back and we will answer your questions should something come up. So yeah, let's do that. And thank you to my family over here, Miss D and Mr. D and my other D. We're like 3Ds, but
3Ds, triple D.
Anyway.
There you go.
Anyway.
Peace. That's better than double D, right, Doc? Triple D.
Okay, we got one last thing before we end the show.
Ding-a-ling!